well. Um, and got a lot of great news to share to people that are joining. We'll give it a couple seconds here. Right now, it's just you and me.
Right?
So, by the way, my weight loss, I'm at 194.
What?
Yeah, 194. I'm getting down to my goal of 190, and then from there I'll figure it out. Like,
I thought
because
your goal.
already I get like the shakes.
I thought your
What?
goal was like 196.
Wait, what's that?
I thought your goal was like 196.
No, 195 was my end goal. So I wanted to
Okay.
get down to 190 and
Okay.
then build back to 195.
Gotcha.
And anyways, because I get a little. It's funny when I'm fat, I feel amazing. Meaning, I never like get the shakes. Do you ever get shakes when you're hungry?
Oh, dude. Yeah. Yeah.
I hate that feeling, but
No,
I'm
no.
starting to get those already. But at the end of the day, I feel amazing. Typically,
Good. Good.
but yeah, so I'm going to get to 190, come back to 195, and I would like to keep my body fat at like 11%. Under 10, I think it's a little. I think that's a little too much.
Right. No.
So, anyways, for anyone that joins, feel free to say hi. We're going to talk about procrastination. My number one tip to how to kibosh it. Every day I'm getting better and getting more done.
You know,
What's
it's a
that?
problem. It's a problem that every single one of us have.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I know I fight it.
Yeah, and I even with weight loss, like I said, I'm on target. I should hit my 190 goal within a couple weeks. But the journey, every time you accomplish something, what that does for you mentally is insane. Like it's just incredible what it does for you mentally. Going back to, we're doing a rebrand with the website, my core website. We're going to talk a little bit about that as well today, because it's so important today. I'm going to talk about, I have a client right now that has a couple million followers. She got banned on Facebook. We corrected that. We're going to get her the blue check mark, why that's so important. But it's also a lesson because it goes to show you can be nixed in the middle of the night if you're not careful.
That's right.
And it wasn't even her fault. That's how we got her back. So what happened was, really wasn't her fault. So today we're talking about procrastination, how to overcome it, how to get things done, how to take your ideas and turn them into a real product or a real program. I love programs, but it comes down to procrastination. If you procrastinate, nothing gets done.
No,
Without action, nothing gets done.
And it's funny how I can speak for myself. How the easy things, you got no problem clicking them off the box. The projects, yeah, I'll get on that tomorrow. Oh, I'll get on that tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, and you keep procrastinating and putting it off. But taking that first step and diving in, getting yourself motivated to do it makes all the difference in the world.
Without a doubt. By the way, for those that are joining us, if you have a question for us, we are product creators. We create SaaS systems which is software as a service. That's just one product, right? That's a digital product. And we have multiple digital products and physical products as well. I have a book launch coming out this fall. Actually two, one's digital, one's going to be a physical book. And if you have questions for us, feel free to ask anything that you would like. We will answer it to the best of our ability. On the mic is D. Dipple. D is also a creator, business owner, entrepreneur. How long have you been an entrepreneur, D?
Since 03.
Okay. I mean, what age were you when you decided to go pro?
20, 24 roughly.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, it was 27. I mean, I was always an entrepreneur in the head, like in the mind, the heart.
Right.
But I finally dared to jump into the deep end when I was about 27.
Nah, probably, maybe closer to 30. I don't know. I got reverse engineer the math. I never thought like that.
Needless to say, you've been an entrepreneur more than you worked for somebody else, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. It's been
awesome.
It's been 19 years.
Okay, let's see. 1 second. I'm going to just bring something up here. One moment. If you're joining us, feel free to say hi. If you have any questions, feel free to join the conversation today. And I am going to. Oh, by the way, part two, for whatever reason, we were unable to go live in the group last Wednesday. Still don't have clarity as to why. We did a test yesterday. It worked. So for those of us, or for those of you that join our group, we're going to deep dive training you how to make an automated business online, clone yourself to where you can minimize the hours of work that you do. Talk about procrastination. Now it's time to make up for all the procrastination, right? Like
Right.
you can create systems to where you clone yourself. So right now we're going to go into how do you go about changing your belief system so that you procrastinate no more. Because procrastination comes down to this. It's a fear thing. Your brain is designed to reduce fear or the unknown. So the procrastination is just avoidance. That's what it is. You're avoiding doing what's important because it's something that you have to do that's going to take you to the next level. For some reason, there might be some fear there. So a lot of times when you're procrastinating, it just might be that flight or fight problem that we all face. And it's like, how about going out to dinner instead? Oh, that sounds like a better thing. You know, like it's that
Right.
pleasure, you
Right.
know, temptation. So one of the things that I do, and I'm going to share my best tip for procrastination is you got to schedule it. You have to schedule it. If you don't schedule it, meaning whatever it is that you need to do, you got to schedule it. When you schedule it and cross it off the to-do list, and when you schedule it, you can't like still not do it. You got to just, I forget what, who she is. She has a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you just do it. I actually use that, especially when I used to get into the gym. You could procrastinate and even get into the gym. So you just got to get up, grab the gym bag, and go. The same is true when it comes to doing tasks. You got to just do it. The other would be getting into workflow. Workflow helps you with procrastination. But here's my number one tip. When it comes to procrastinating, I schedule my work week heavy on the beginning of the week. So Monday, I really jam-pack my Monday. And the reason for that is when you start winning and you start accomplishing, it really now actually mitigates that thought that's always in our head. Well, I'll do it tomorrow or I'll do it tonight. And then tonight comes and it still doesn't get done. I'll do it tomorrow morning and then it still doesn't get done. By hitting it on the head, you're now training the brain to link pleasure by doing those things that we tend to avoid. And I also find that the harder the task or whatever it is that I'm linking pain to the thing, the more that I put in the beginning of the week and win, now all of a sudden, once again, those pain receptors start going away. And I like hitting the heaviest stuff first, get it out of the way. And I do that in the morning because that's when I have ridiculous amount of energy in the morning, especially like I wake up at 4, by 5 o'clock, I'm already like ready to lick the world. So if you're able to do that, if you're able to take the things that you're procrastinating on and getting them accomplished in the morning, that's going to help you in a really big way. Good morning, Christopher. And if anyone has questions for us, feel free to at least be part of the conversation. What would be your tips that you use that help you? I know for me, I think listening to focus music and just wanting to hit it. Like I know what needs to get done. We have a drag and drop program right now that for those that are watching, if you want to create a website, because I know that a lot of people, way back in the day, I created a program called Website Creation Pro. We have a new program being built on that. But I know that people back in the day were having a problem like, I just don't know where to start, right? And then I would run into people like 6 months, 7 months later, and they're still like, yeah, I'm still working on my website. I'm like, you were working on that 6 months ago. Like,
Right.
you got to get past start. The more that you're able to be a doer and not an excuse maker, the better your life is going to be. When you make excuses, it just cripples you because you have to live with yourself and you know when you're screwing up. And believe me, I've been there. I've done that. I do it all the time. Like, that's just part of being human.
Right.
But being a doer, somebody that eventually you're going to be known that you're the one that's going to bring the ball to the end zone, right? Eventually you'll get known for that because you're a creator. I know for us, we're coming out of the woodworks with stuff that I know the industry, where were they? Like, you know what I mean? And that's because we got it done. It was really hard stuff. And how many times I almost flirted with quitting. It's like, it was so difficult to get these things through. But if I lived in the realm of procrastination, it's just not going to happen.
No, nope.
All right. So I have found too that when you start becoming a producer, when your production level starts going up, the better your work week is, the more leveled up you become. I can handle more today than I did, believe it or not, even a month ago. But certainly, a year ago and 3 years ago, you level up. The more that you get done and becoming productive, the better. Bert, good morning. Nice seeing you. If you do have questions for us, feel free to give us questions. And I got to tell you, being a product creator, for those that are right now creating a product, writing a book, creating an app, creating a web program or a coaching program, this is the number one thing that's going to get you is procrastination. You got to nix it. Remember, once again, for those that are jumping on, we were talking about the why. Why does it happen? It's an old mental defense system that just links as pleasure and pain all the time. And this is why some people, I hate to say this and bring it up, but some people revert to alcohol and drugs because it's an avoidance. Procrastination comes in multiple ways. But in the end of the day, procrastination is avoidance. And avoidance sometimes gives you pleasure. You know what? Maybe if I just don't go into work today, or you know what? Maybe if I just cancel that meeting, you know what I mean? Because you're linking pain. So you got to ask yourself, why? Why am I linking pain to this? And you got to come up with the why. Now come up with, but what if I do accomplish it? What if I hit it on the head? Or more importantly, has there anything been in your life to where you are linking pain to it? But if I can just get it out of the way, I can now move on.
Oh, for
right?
sure. Right.
So it might be a short-term pain. But if you say to yourself, you know what? I'm going to get through this so that now all of the things that I need to work on, I can. And then you just do that. So that is the one thing. So remember, scheduling your work week is going to help you. You got to schedule it. You got to schedule it.
And the other thing too is I will say, usually with procrastination, it's a task that is more difficult, or like you said, like takes a little more time. It's not mundane. It's something that, when you schedule it in a block of time that you're not going to have any distractions.
Right.
Because once you get motivated to get into it, you want to have that chunk of time that you can be able to stay on it and make some real headway. Because then once you start making the headway, then you start feeling better, and you're like, alrighty, you got half the hard stuff done. Then it's a lot easier to finish if you do get a distraction.
It is, and you got to count the wins. So here's my number one tip. Here it comes. Where are we at time? 9:15. my number one tip for procrastination is I reward myself. So what does that mean? Right? Like if you want to not procrastinate, reward yourself. I often, when I design somebody's life business-wise, we say, well, where you're at with your company, just recreate what you're getting there, meaning, the benefits, if you will. Design your life. The number one thing you need to do, design your life. You got to know where you're going. You got to know where you were, right? And there's your story. Where you were is your story. So you got to know where you were. Let me give you an example. When I was a kid, I say that I was 21. I think I was 21. My wife was, we just had my oldest son, and I was peddling vacuum cleaners. I mean, we all had those dirty jobs, right? But here's the thing, I'm doing that, and my car had no heat. Come to find out, it was just a fuse, right? Talk about procrastination. What if I would have just said, okay, what's the problem?
Right.
I just knew I didn't have the money to fix it. I was 21. I've got this new baby, and literally our life depended on me selling a vacuum cleaner. So when I watched In Pursuant to Happiness, oh my gosh, it hits home so bad. Like, it's amazing. So anyways, I had to learn how to dress. Back then I used to wear women beaters. I mean, it's kind of funny, but that's what I wore. And I had to learn how to put on a tie, and I hated anything around my neck. Anytime you saw a picture of me and I had a jacket on, it was always like off my shoulders. I don't know why, but so I'm wearing a tie. I hated that. Had to cut the hair. Hated that. And now I'm a salesman because I had to learn sales. I had to learn it. And it was brutal, dude. So I'm in this giant car that's horrible in the snow, wheel drive. Remember those?
Oh yeah.
So here I am, and I'm sliding and hitting curbs, and it was just horrible. More importantly, I didn't know. I know you had to have like dress shoes, right? I didn't know that you could buy these rubbers that go over them, or there was boots for professional. I just didn't know. And at the end of the day, I'm going door to door, doors being slammed. It was brutal, but I had to do what I had to do, right? And then I found this tape, and I tell this story on my website. I spoke at an event, and I have this whole thing on the new website that's coming. But at the end of the day, here's what happened. I'm listening to Les Brown because I'm like, it was brutal, dude. I was ready to quit. So talk about procrastination. It comes in different levels, different forms. Can you imagine if I did, because we needed the money? So at the end of the day, I'm listening to Les Brown, and literally in this tape, kind of dating myself, but in this tape, it says, if you fall on your back, if you can look up, you can get up. And he says it with his powerful voice, right? I'm like, damn it, he's right. Get this. My very next, now watch this. This is a mind shift. I'm already feeling negative. I'm slipping and falling in the deep snow and ice with vacuum cleaner in hand, right? It was the Electrolux vacuum cleaner. And all I did is I changed my mindset listening to him. I'm like, nope, I'm going to do 4 more houses. And I got 3 sales.
Nice.
Oh, and it was incredible. So with that being said, that was my juxtaposition. Like, oh my God, if you change the thought in your mind, it changes everything. So some people are like, gurus and stuff like that, Tony Robbins and, rah. Believe it or not, it can help. Like when you're down and out, it can help you get through the hard times. So I that was one of mine that really helped me. One moment. So I got to tell you, you got to move through. So if it's something that's tough that you got to do and you're procrastinating because you're just dreading it, know the outcome and then know where you're going will help you mitigate. Like, I got to get through this to do that.
Well, exactly. And also take the first step. Once you take the first step, which is always the hardest, the second step's easier than the first. And the third's easier than the second. Then all of a sudden you start rolling a little bit and start getting momentum. You know what I mean? And then before you know it, you're getting through it,
Without a doubt. Yeah. And I reward myself. So coming back to the reward, maybe it's a getaway. So let's say that for those of you that are pro, meaning you don't have a job, and you're working on your, if you get these things done and you get these in the amount of sales, that maybe you go on a mini vacation or you get away, right? That really, isn't it funny? Like when you have to get ready for something, let's say it is a vacation and you know that this needs to be done before I go. Isn't it funny how you don't procrastinate then?
Right. And you get it done.
Why? Because you brought urgency in. You need to bring urgency in. You got to bring the why. The why has to be bigger than the short-term pleasure of procrastinating. And if you can bring that why in, hey, if I get this done, this. If I do get this task done, it equals that. Before you know it, now I don't really procrastinate.
Right.
Anything that I know that needs to get done, two things are going to happen. If I really don't like doing it, can I delegate it? If I can't delegate it, remember your why, get it on your list, get it on Monday, get it done, or today, like whenever it needs to, but get it done. Don't wait, don't procrastinate. Before you know it, in 90 days, you practice these things, procrastination is just no longer going to be a thing, and you're going to be a producer. You got to be productive. We all know the people that are productive, people that produce versus people that don't. Look at their lives. You're going to see that they procrastinate all the time. That's just the bottom line. Here's the other thing. If you have a thing that's in your mind that says, well, I'll just put it on tomorrow, you got to immediately ask a question. Why can't it be now? Why can't it be now? Lewis Howes had somebody on, a couple people. One was Grant Cardone. Lewis Howes said to Grant, no, Grant said it was where are you going to be? And Grant says, I'm doing I think it was boy, I'm going to forget. It was a $500 million deal. He goes, why isn't it 800? And Grant goes, good question. You get what I mean? Like,
right.
We got to raise the bar. Now, I'm not just saying like, work yourself to death, but you got to raise the bar. Even myself, with weight loss, I felt like I'm going to go below the weight I'm going to go below my goal to 190 and then bring myself back to 195. There's a nerdy reason for that, there's a reason for that. So I have to overachieve the goal first to end up with the goal. Then I just now created my new set point. I bet you for you had a massive weight loss, but now you fluctuate between a few more numbers.
Yep.
But that one number you used to always go back to no longer is there anymore. Isn't that funny? That's
right.
Because you now have a new set point. So even with with business, you're going to have these set points. If you have any questions, feel free. We're going to shorten this today. We're going to end it at 9:30. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in there. But procrastination is a big business killer. How many ideas are in the graveyard? You know what I mean? We've talked about this all the time. And the reason for that is procrastination. How many book deals weren't done because of procrastination? How many products not being made due to procrastination? You got to have a sense of urgency. And once the sense of urgency outweighs procrastination, you don't even have time to procrastinate. And that is it. So my key is that reward yourself, have no time for procrastination. Soon as those doubt thoughts or procrastinating thoughts come into your head, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get rid of them. Meaning do it now or make sure it's scheduled. I am absolutely live. Do we procrastinate? No, we go live at 9.
Right.
Matter of fact, something came up. I told the person that I can meet you at 10, right? And guess what? We're going to meet at 10. We're going to get things done. So that is about the line. Okay, so I want to make a couple announcements for those that catch us on the replay. Make sure you put #replay. We have a program right now for you procrastinators that are creating product, a way to get past start. So we have some people that are creators that say, a lot of the programs out there are so hard. Well, this is so darn easy that you can actually create a product like today. like literally today. You can create a product, drag and drop, and templates that's going to help you with that. And yes, there's other programs out there, but if this is not a better solution, I don't know what is. So we're going to announce that this week, and we're pretty darn excited about it because I use it. We have products that are hitting the market right now. One, of course, is Embed Locker. We're going to interrupt the playing field right now. You and I talked about this the other day. Like,
oh yeah,
we're going to interrupt the playing field because this is time that product creators, if you take your knowledge and get it out to the world, that you can make change, big, profound change. And I believe that these new products that we created is going to actually help you with that. So we are week 14. I believe it's 14. I think we're in week 14 of the Product Creator Challenge.
Yep.
So for those that have not joined the group, make sure you do. Tonight, once again, we had a problem going live. There's with the Facebook update, and even did you see the Zoom update? Zoom's got some problems right now.
Right.
I do love StreamYard for sure. Anyways, what do you do, D? And do you ever have procrastination problems?
Oh, dude, for sure. I mean, I'm no different. I'm no different than anybody else. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, no, I do. You know, it's funny. I mean, for me, like, I have to schedule it early in the morning because that's the only time I really have to myself.
There you go.
You know what I mean? So like,
Yes.
I'll come over early and bang something out if I need. You know what I mean?
Yes. That is my goal. You know that I work 2 days in one. So my first day is between 5 and noon. That's my first day. Matter of fact, when I owned Capital, I just realized that people were coming back late from lunch. Oh yeah, I was in a traffic jam. Oh, the line was 10 feet or 20 feet. You know what I mean? So I said, okay, lunch break is at 11.
Right.
When do they flip their lunch menu? At 11.
That's right.
Okay. So lunch break was 11. You got to become a really good time manager and you got to figure things out. Matter of fact, in California, I was on with a company and he says, yeah, right now we're having a lot of problems with, the traffic. And I said, well, what if you guys came in earlier and left earlier? What would that do? Now, eventually, if everybody did it, you'd have the same problem again.
Right.
But start thinking of ways around things.
That's right.
For us, we were having a problem. For me, I got to thinking, like, even going to lunch, I was more excited about getting things done than having the break of lunch, right? Now I don't even eat lunch.
Right.
Okay. So I don't eat breakfast and I don't eat lunch. I just don't. So here's what I do. And if I do, it's like a protein shake or something like that. But what I do is I realized, well, wait a minute, this was time out of my day. So now I was starting to do lunch right at my desk. Back then when I was eating lunch, I was doing lunch at my desk. The more you can figure things around things, and then you find more time to get things done, especially the harder things. Remember, procrastination is linking pain to the thing that you're procrastinating on. So I hit that first. The things that we want to do, we don't seem to procrastinate on that, do we? We just don't.
Nope.
So bring the harder things first and get it done. And once again, reward yourself when it's done. You feel good. When you procrastinate, you just feel horrible about it. So start linking pain to the procrastination. But you got to get things done. So my first day is, and the reason why I call it my day, I get more done in a day than anybody. I'm sorry, I just do. Maybe Gary Vaynerchuk gets more done, but at the end of the day, I know that right now we have 2 products that are $1 million products that we're launching, that are launched technically, but launching. And we have a program right now, and we have an investor that we're looking at. But at the end of the day, the reason why we get things done is because of our big why. And it's not just about money. It's not just about money. It's about what the lives that we're going to be changing. So now when you start thinking of the importance of the why that you're doing it, you have no time to procrastinate, or it's never going to get done. Like, you got to get it done. So put deadlines. When you put deadlines to a product, put deadlines to a task, you have no time to procrastinate. And you link pleasure to the outcome. You have no, once you start linking pleasure, eventually brain is no longer going to give that flight, what is it? Fleet or flight or fight.
Right. Right.
It's not going to do that anymore because you're teaching your brain new habits that these tasks are things that are needed. So it's no longer going to do it. When you're a newbie, you're going to do it all the time. Procrastination happens more with people that are lower level. And once you start getting at a higher level of production, procrastination starts just going out the window. And then you start realizing all the ones that are procrastinating. You see it.
Right. You know, and I know sometimes people get overwhelmed with their task lists or what to do, you know, and, you know, thing is, check off as many boxes as you can early, and then the next day hit the one that you're dreading the most first thing in the morning.
Oh,
then all of a sudden
you're so right.
You know, then all of a sudden you're done.
Yeah. All righty. If there's no questions, Pursuant to Happiness, Bert, I would recommend, if anyone hasn't seen it or revisit it, watch it, because another version of procrastination is called struggle, right? When you're struggling, when you're feeling pain, it's like, and I forgot to touch on this. Let's say you're going through financial struggle. It sucks. You know, it sucks. Maybe you spent too much money on something. It sucks. So so the plain pleasure is going to be, what can I do right now that's going to make me happy? Go in the kitchen and start eating. Going out to the swimming pool when you shouldn't be. Walking the dog at a weird hour. Like, I'm not saying, but you get the point, you know? Or going on a mini vacation you really don't afford or can't afford. Or doing things that you know you should not be doing, right? It's to avoid and give you pleasure so you don't feel this way anymore. Instead of that, link pleasure at saying, okay, this is where I'm at, but if I do this, this, and this, like raising money, right? Now I'm going to work myself out of this situation, but you just got to get through it. So you got to have a plan, build that bridge. Okay, these are the things I need to get done in order to get this. Right now I'm here, and I'm not going to get there if I procrastinate. So I've got to get these things done. And like you said, do it early in the morning, and before you know it, you're there. All right. I will see everybody tonight. D, if you're around. Otherwise, we did a test and it's working. So we're going to have a program inside Link Boss. It's up above. Just search groups if you're not in. But Link Boss is the group. And we will help you get past not only procrastination, but get your product to the world, either physical or digital. We're going to be able to help you with that. Alrighty, until next week, D, thank you.
All right.
And we'll see everybody next week. Peace.
See ya.